It's Brother Kashakwala coming back at you with another lesson. Swift in the spirit, giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Chakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, rule and teach well. Peace of salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. This is going to be a swift lesson, just about Revelation 13 and 16, particularly dealing with the part where it mentions the Karagma. Okay, so I'm going to read verbatim here, Revelation 13 and 16, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. This is just pretty much like at this point, if you're of the circumcision, this is like Bible knowledge 101 by now. We're still going to go through it because there's still individuals who may not know, and then there's still individuals who preach it incorrectly. So we're just going to go ahead and get into this word, mark, in the in the Greek.
Strong's G 5480, charagma. Charagma.
Charagma. All right, or just karagma.
Strong's G 5480, charagma. Charagma.
All right, so simply it's going into, it says a stamp and a printed mark, all right, of the mark stamped on the forehead or in the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. The mark branded upon horses, thing, carved, sculpture, graven work, or idolatrous images. All right, so let me go back real quick. I'm going to get that definition again. But it says to receive a mark in their right hand. That means literally in the right hand or the correct hand. All right, it's a correct positioning. Whatever they deem correct to put a mark on. All right. Back in slave times, when a slave ran away, they would what you call brand or mark, or which we're going to get into, a slave to that specific slave plantation or house. And that's how they would identify them. And wherever they put that mark was the quote unquote correct place to put it. All right. So when it says right hand, it could be a literal right hand or just the correct area. Simple. In the mark, this is speaking about Revelation 13 and 16, is the RFID microchip that Esau's trying to do. We see the brain chips. We see all these other things. It's starting to become a trend. All right. These are chips. You can get it in your right butt cheek. That's the correct place. You got it. That's simple. All right. So let's go ahead and get into this word karagma. All right. It's going to be a real simple lesson, but really in the spirit critical, because you have to understand what this is. All right. So you know what to abstain. All right. Or you know what to be obstinate towards. And don't be obstinate towards the Lord. Be obstinate towards this mark. So mark means a stamp and a printed mark. So I have, as you can see on the tabs, a whole bunch of etymology. So I have the word stamp, and we're not going to deal with the actual verb because this is used as a noun. So a stamp is an instrument for crushing, a stamping tool. All right. So a stamping tool, as you see in this definition of the word mark, it says the mark branded upon horses. So you use an actual, I forgot what they call it. When you brand a horse, you actually have a stamping tool that you heat up, and then you mark the horse with it, which breaks the skin of the horse. Okay? It breaks the skin of the horse because it's hot, and it I don't know how else to explain it, but it breaks the skin. So in a sense, it's really an incision, all right, because it's breaking skin or going underneath the skin of a horse. So it's a mark. All right. So a stamping tool says an instrument for making impressions. So here's the word impression. It says mark produced by pressure. Before we got into the truth, I've been in the military. I've had to take certain shots and vaccines. I'm not afraid to admit it. This was before I got into the truth, before I got the knowledge and understanding that that crap was off. Whenever I got it, there usually was a sore spot after I received it. But when I received the shot, it was a pressure that hit me in my shoulder. Okay? So you have a stamping tool that causes an impression or a mark produced by pressure. You end up having the mark, a swollen area, and it takes a few days for it to heal because you were pricked. All right, so it says what? Let's keep going. Selecting. It says image produced in the mind or emotions by something external. It says act or process of making mark upon a surface by pressing. It says copy made by pressure or type or an engraving. All right. Or engraving. We're going to get the word engrave. Let's go back to the word stamp. It says official mark or imprint. So here's the word imprint. These are all synonyms that are similar to the word mark or in the Greek charagma, which I'm just bringing out words and the meaning of these words, the etymology of these words. Etymology is the origination, where they originated from, to give you the understanding of what this is. And it's that simple, with knowing what words mean. It is what it is. It's black and white. If you want to sway it a different way, I am 100% confident to tell you that you are wrong. Because who are you to say a stamp, impression, imprint, engrave, or mark means something else than what it is? That simple. Okay? So the word imprint means to mark by pressure, stamp, impress on the mind or memory, to stamp, engrave, imprint. So imprint means to engrave, and engrave means to cut in, make by incision, produce or form by incision on a hard surface. Simple. Engrave goes to imprint, impression, impression is stamp. And they all mean, when you get to the nitty-gritty of things, to engrave. And that's what this mark is. So that's how you can tie it into the RFID chip, microchip, or a brain chip, because with those, they have to engrave something in you, okay? And put something in you. Mark, all right? The verb, or the noun. Trace, impression. Again, it goes back to impression, which impression means an engraving. We know an engrave means to cut by incision. This is real simple, okay? Boundary, limit, sign, landmark, all right? It says mark, to put a mark on. This is the actual verb, like I was speaking about earlier with the slave who would run away. They will actually put a mark or engrave something in them to show that they are owned by this specific plantation. And it's the same thing that's going to happen with this mark of the beast that's spoken about in the book of Revelation. All right, one moment here. Bear with me. All right. So it says to put a mark on. So when you have a mark, it's a visible thing. So now let's get one more precept, and then I'm gonna close it out here. in Revelation 16th chapter. So Revelation 16:1, it says, "And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, Go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of the Most High upon the earth." Verse 2. And it says, "And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth. And there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image." So a noisome, grievous sore. So a noisome, grievous sore is also what you can call an indication or a mark that is put on. Let's go back down to the verb so we can understand these people who have grievous sores, that they are a sign or a landmark, okay, making it known that they took this charagma that is spoken about in Revelation 13 and 16. It's that simple. So this mark is going to be further identified by a grievous sore as well, like I was mentioning back when I was in the military and I had to get pricked by those dumb vaccines. Whenever you get an imprint from the specific needle that they're putting something in you, they're putting an impression on you, all right, which is a mark produced by pressure. They're putting pressure onto you. And then when they inject it and then eject the needle, okay, it leaves a mark, a swollen imprint. That's why they put a Band-Aid over it and they let it heal. That is a small example of what is a grievous sore is. But in this case, it might be something cancerous. So matter of fact, let's get this word sore and I might close it out after this. So this lesson is just to clear up any confusion you may have with the doctrine that is speaking about the Revelation 13 and 16, the mark. Okay? It says a wound producing a discharge pus, a sore, an ulcer. Okay? So it's going to be almost like a cancerous looking sore when these people, because putting something that they call biological technology in you is not supposed to mix with the biological nature that you've already been pre-made by the Heavenly Father. You're not supposed to put anything in you. That's why the scriptures tell you not to get any tattoos. All of this goes back to the law. You can avoid this if you keep the law, okay, to the best of your abilities, okay? What's that? I think it's in like Leviticus 19, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see if I can find it. And then I'll close it out. Bear with me. Yeah, okay. Leviticus 19 and 26, it says, Ye shall not eat anything with the blood, neither shall ye use enchantment, nor observe times. It says, neither shall ye use enchantment. Okay? Enchantment goes into like witchcraft. This impression, this stamp, this impression, this imprint, this engraven thing, this mark is an enchantment. Okay? Verse 27, it says, Ye shall not round the corners of your heads, nor shall thou mar the corners of thy beard. The word mar means to destroy, okay, or dismantle. So you're not supposed to get any edge ups and you're supposed to let your beard grow. Verse 28 is the point. And ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, which goes into what? Tattoos. In tattoos, they have to break the skin. That is an impression as well, okay? That is a mark that is produced by pressure that's on you for the rest of your life, all right? It's a branding. It's a stamp, and they use a stamp what is it? Getting tattoos, they use an instrument for crushing, and it's a stamping tool. And what does it crush? The skin, all right? Which your skin is a big organ that you have to take care of. It's an outward organ that you have to take care of. It says, nor print any marks upon you, okay? So nor print, or put imprints on you, okay? So, or engrave anything in you. Engrave means to make by incision, or produce or form by incision, or on a hard surface, okay? So you're not supposed to engrave anything on you. It says, I am the Lord, and that's what I was just about to say. Thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So if you're keeping this particular law, there shouldn't be a problem for you to understand or to get and understand that you're not going to have anything. This is what you're going to be obstinate towards, is getting the mark. And of course you pray to the Lord that you continue to be that way. So I just wanted to swift understanding. If anyone had any aught about the doctrine, primarily about what Revelation 13 and 16 is, here it is. All the words brought out to you. Okay? So Lord willing, this was edifying. I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Achakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Peace, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. Brother Kosh Khan, until the next time, I'm going to say shalom. And like always, repent, for Yahushua is coming back sooner than what me and you believed. Shalom.